Hi everybody, I'm Zilla Blitz, and I bought a lot of advanced squad leader stuff. I've been wanting to explore the system, and a little while ago, someone that had been in the hobby for a while was selling their entire collection. So I bought it. Now, this video series, we're going to take a look at what I got because there was a lot of stuff, 5 storage containers worth of stuff. In this first video, we're going to look at the game boxes that I got. Second video, we're going to look at the plano boxes filled with counters. Third video is about the binders with the maps. And the fourth video is going to be about a box of odds and ends. I could use your help too, because some of this stuff I'm not quite sure what it is. Let's jump in and get started and look at the games and game boxes.
So the set came with 25 boxes in all. Now some of these have had the components cannibalized to be put in the plano boxes for the counters, and the maps and scenarios are in binders, but a good number of them still have the components inside. Let's jump in. We'll dig into the modules first, then the starter kit stuff, and then the historical modules. Lots to look at. Let's get going. So there's 12 module boxes to go through. The first one here is, this is ASL Module 1, of course, Beyond Valor. This is the core set that has Germans and Russians on the East Front, and this is the latest edition as well, so I was happy to see that. The components, the counters, the scenarios, and the maps have been broken down. So this box is empty, and we'll look at the pieces for this one as we explore further into the set. Second module that it came with, likewise, this is one of the empty ones, Yanks, which adds the Americans to the ASL set. This is the latest edition. This also is empty, as the maps and scenarios of all have been broken down. So really happy to see this one in here as well. The third module in the set was West of Alamein, and this is ASL Module 5. But correct me if I'm wrong, I think this one, the desert components have been moved to updated into Hollow Legions, and then the British forces are now in for King and Country. So I think this one is a little bit no longer necessary. Now everything is in here as well. So we have the terrain chart. These are mounted maps in here too. These look pretty cool. So some nice desert terrain. I suppose it's nice to have these maps that are all mounted here. And then as we look through here, I'm not sure if pieces of it have been taken out. No, it looks like the rules components are in here. The counters have been in here, but some have been moved and broken down into different places, but a majority of them still here in this rather large set. So I'm assuming the other components here have been taken out to play, but everything else is here. Wow, there's a ton of stuff here in the scenario map. So, but again, this one I'm pretty sure is, correct me if I'm wrong, this one has been replaced with For King and Country and Hollow Legions. Speaking of which, here is For King and Country, and this one also has been broken down. So this is the British order of battle, and this replaces the British component of West of Alamein. This one's empty, so the components have been broken down, but this is also the latest edition. I'm really excited to see this one. So we've got Commonwealth forces, Germans, Russians, and US in the set, which is a nice chunk of the World War II theater. And continuing on with the replacements for West of Alamein, this is Hollow Legions, ASL Module 7. This, I think, mentions that the desert rules are in here. I don't know too much about it. Right now, what's in here are these 2 mounted map boards of desert map here. I assume the components here have been kind of placed up with most of the earlier modules here. As we look at the plano boxes and the maps and the binders and stuff, I think we'll see the components for these. But oh, this is the ASL, this is the Italian ASL module. Oh, check it out. Wait, hang on. Okay, sorry. Going over here. This is Hollow Legions 7A. So that looks like an older version of module 7. This is the newer one, and this does add the Italian order of battle. Okay, sorting it out. So it looks like there's a couple of older pieces in this set. And Hollow Legions has everything, I think, still inside. Yes. So these are the scenario cards for it. This looks unused and maybe unclipped. Rules components in here. Just going to pull these out, seeing if the counters in here. Wow, there's a lot of scenarios in here. That's a big stack of scenarios. And then we've got the more traditional cardboard maps in here. And then here are the counters. So we've got all of the 5 counter sets, I believe, in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so these are all the counter sets for Hollow Legions. This one too, I think, is I'm not sure if there are multiple editions of this, but I'm pretty sure this is the latest edition as well. So that's great. Italian order of battle in the set too. Literally got so many options here for creating ASL scenarios. Now there was no 8 and 9 in the set, so we're jumping up to 10, but 8 and 9 I know have been replaced with Rising Sun. Croix de Guerre. This is the French order of battle. And this one as well, everything is in the box here. And yeah, it looks like, much like Hollow Legions, all of the scenarios. Wow, there are a ton of scenarios in here. And we've got the rules points in here. And then here is 11 of 11 on counter sheets. So let's see if the counter sheets, wow, there's a lot of stuff in here. There's some more maps as well. These look pretty cool. And then we get to counter sheets here. 9 of 11, 10 of 11. I'm not sure all the counter sheets are in this one. 8 of 11, we'll take a look here. Yeah, so look at, they're all 11 are here. I just went through and sorted them out and all unpunched. They look great. So the French order of battle is in here, expanding the ASL possibilities. Wow, some of these modules just have a ton of stuff. I can't believe there's 11 counter sheets in this one. And we've got more maps as well. So these look pretty cool. French countryside, I assume. So the next one in the set was ASL Module 12. And I know ASL Module 11 was Doomed Battalions. And I don't see that one here. So maybe that was one that wasn't in the set. Not quite sure. But this is Armies of Oblivion, which adds the Axis minor nations. And this one is an empty box. So we'll look at the components as we go through the other parts of the set here. This is ASL Module 13, Rising Sun, Chinese, Japanese, and US Marines. This one as well is empty, but of course the components and counters and maps and everything have been broken down into other parts of the set. So we'll see those pieces later. ASL Module 14, Hakapale, adds the finish. This one, some of the components, some of the rules parts are in, some of the charts are in here, but the maps and the counters and scenarios have been moved elsewhere. So we'll see those as we get through. But yeah, this one adds the finish. So very nice to have that, and probably some snow maps, I would imagine. Module 15, likewise, is empty, so it's included elsewhere. This is the Korean War, 1950 to 1953. So that should be a fun one to include. I must say I'm more interested in World War II than I am in the Korean War, but it is nice to have those options to explore. Then the last module in the set here is ASL Module 16. This is the Endgame European Theater, and I believe it's, I want to say US, Russians, and Germans, focusing particularly on the latter parts of World War II. This one I think has just a couple of counter sets. Oh, actually, let's take a look. Everything might be in here. Yes, so counter sheet, the scenarios here, the rules are here. Looks like some map add-ons, some maps for urban terrain. And then there are our counter sets here, 1 of 2, and then 2 of 2. Yeah, so it does look like lots of Germans and some US and some Russians, it looks like, in there. So another map in here too. So it looks like this is complete. And this one I think is one of the newer modules. It's the latest. I think this one came out last year, if I'm not mistaken. So those are our core modules. Let's take a little bit of a break here and jump in and take a look at the starter kit stuff. The set included a lot of the components of the ASL starter kits. This is starter kit 1. This one looks like it's been punched, but all of the pieces are in here. The maps and scenarios looks like they have been pulled up. The scenarios are here. The maps themselves look like they have been moved elsewhere, probably to one of the binders here, but all the counters punched and sorted in this tray. And this, of course, this is infantry with its reduced rule set. This is the one I had before I got this set, so I have a double of these. But this one, I've enjoyed messing around with this, and this is kind of what gave me the taste to want to go deeper. So ASL Starter Kit 2 adds guns to the starter kit. This is a self-contained game. This one, the rulebook only is inside, so the components, I think, are elsewhere in the set. But this is a nice one to have as well. And I think all of these scenarios, if I'm not mistaken, can be played with the full ASL rules, too. And then Advanced Squad Leader Starter Kit 3 adds armor, right? So we've got some armor rules in here. And I think, likewise, this one... yeah, the rules are in here. This adds vehicle and ordnance historical notes. Some of the charts are here, but the components have been moved to other parts of the set. Starter kit number 4, Pacific Theater of Operations. These have been punched and sorted. Looks like all the counters are neatly organized here, adding Japanese forces, some jungle maps in here, and then the scenarios are all in here as well. I'm thinking too, and this is kind of one of the things I'd be curious to hear what people think, a pathway forward. I've been watching the ASL YouTube channel to get some ideas, and then there is a kind of a pathway I've been looking at for kind of working your way through some of the simpler scenarios and rule set in terms of kind of being able to break into the set here. I need a pathway forward as to how to make progress with ASL. Last starter kit component in the set was the Decision at Elst, which is, I didn't realize these existed. This is a historical module, and it looks like things are in here. So the historical modules usually have a campaign game in here. think that would be probably a lot of fun. So we've got, yeah, campaign game rulebook, decision at Elst. So the scenarios are in here, and I think looks like the maps are here. Yep, and then so this is probably a bigger map, right? Because the historical modules, if I'm not mistaken, have a big map that you play out the campaign on. And here are all of the counters. So it looks like 2 of 2, 2 of 3. All the counter sets are here. So some markers as well. And again, I don't know if this is, I don't think this is self-contained. Maybe it is. But I'm excited to have, I'm really looking forward to digging in, eventually getting to the point where I could play a campaign game with ASL. I think that would be a lot of fun. Let's drive on. There's an odd bit in here that I wasn't sure what it was. Deluxe Advanced Squad Leader. So we have some scenarios. If I'm not mistaken, these are big hexes, right? So, wow, this is kind of cool. So this would give you a lot of room to spread your counters out. I'm not sure eventually how popular these became. Do they include counters as well, or are the counters just something that you're supposed to add on here? So it looks like this has been used a little bit. Some of those have been cut up. This would be kind of neat for making videos because you could really see everything. Wow, just a lot of maps in here and scenarios as well. So I guess it looks like you probably need the counters. I can't seem to see what you need to be able to play this, but I assume if you have the starter kits, you can play these scenarios. And there's 38 scenarios in here? Wow, that's a ton. It's a library of scenarios. So there are 7 historical modules in the set. This is Pegasus Bridge, which covers the attack on Pegasus Bridge as part of the D-Day landings on the night before. It looks like what's in here, I'm not sure what originally would have been here, the scenarios, some rule components, and then this is the big campaign map for it. Oh, this looks pretty cool. This looks like a fun one. I'm almost tempted, like this is kind of one I would like to start out with. This must be Pegasus Bridge here. But Normandy behind the lines with paratroopers and glider troops. This one sounds cool. Now, I'm not sure if this has been updated by anything or if this is just one that's never really been duplicated again. But this one looks really fun. So it says there are counters in here. It looks like the counters then have been moved elsewhere. Then we jump up to Module 7, Valor of the Guards. This is Stalingrad, house-to-house combat with a bunch of scenarios. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, all of these historical modules, correct me if I'm wrong, have a campaign game in them here. This one looks like all of the things are in here. So sheet 5, there, it's unpunched. It looks like this one wasn't quite yet played. Wow, there's a lot of stuff in here. Let's see if we can break this down. Yeah, so here would be our campaign map, the map that's included, and then here are the other 4 counter sets. So more Russians and Germans for a campaign battle. It looks like there's 2 big maps in here. Oh yeah, look at this, urban combat, all kinds of destroyed buildings. Playing a campaign game of Stalingrad with Advanced Squad Leader. That sounds like that could be really fun. Excited. Next up, Historical Module 8, Festung Budapest, the attack on Budapest by Russian and Hungarian forces in 1945, I believe it was. So, yeah, oh, this looks pretty cool, in January of 1945. Lots of scenarios again. The counters look like these have been moved elsewhere, but the scenarios are in here and the campaign maps are in here. Wow, 3 big maps. Again, lots of urban combat here, as we can tell. Oh, man. There's got to be thousands of hours of gameplay in this set. Next up, ASL Module 9, Hatten in Flames. Alsace, France. This is the German attack on the town of Hatten. Again, this is December 1944, Operation Nordwind, right? And this is our city map. We got snow. Looks like a town, village kind of thing with smaller buildings. Oh, this looks amazing. And I assume in here too that there's both scenarios and then a campaign game in here somewhere that you probably have the rules for. These are broken down. Looks like the counters, if there were, yep, counters are here too. So just a couple of counter sheets in here, but everything's here. And nice. Back to Stalingrad with red factories and ASL Historical Module 10. This one looks like everything's still in the box here. So the counters and the maps. I'm not sure what the difference between this historical module is and the one Beyond Valor, which is also Valor of the Guards, which is in Stalingrad as well. But all the counters look like here, 4 of 6 counter sheets, as well as, whoa, more counters and scenarios. And the map itself of Stalingrad again. campaign in Stalingrad with ASL would be amazing to do. Historical Module 11 is Sword in Manila. This one, everything's in the box. The counters, the rules, the scenarios. Another campaign game. This one, another urban battle. This one, of course, in Manila, in the Pacific Theater. Nice map, some water. And then all of the Japanese and US counters, as well as more maps and the campaign game involved for this one. Oh, that'd be another fun one to play. I'll be playing these forever. And last but not least, Historical Module 12, Saint-Mère-Église. I'm sure I said that wrong. 82nd Airborne Division in Normandy, June 6th and 7th. So again, as part of Operation Overlord, the paratrooper and glider attacks, probably paratroopers for this one. And then here is our campaign maps, as well as our counter set. Everything's still 1 of 1, so I assume that you're going to need some other counters to make this one work. But scenarios and then the campaign, I'm sure, is in here somewhere as well. And that brings us to the end of the box section. In the next video, we'll take a look at the counters that come in the Plano boxes. There are a lot of them, so we'll go through those in the next video. Let me know your thoughts, comments, ideas, strategies for moving forward with this massive amount of ASL content. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great day.